Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about alcohol markers. Now on all of my Facebook groups I always get asked what markers to buy, what is like the cheapest, what is the best. It's kind of hard to tell you exactly what to buy because everyone is going to have their own opinion on alcohol markers just because it's how you use them. There's just so many different variables. So I'm just going to kind of share my thoughts and what kind of alcohol markers I own and what I like the best. The markers that I have are like $2 and under. They're not the Copics, they're not, the really expensive things. Even though, some of them you might think are actually expensive, but really not. I think that Spectrum Noirs are under $2 a marker. I'm thinking they might be like 50 cents to $1. I'm not sure. I never went the Spectrum Noir route, so I'm not sure. That's something that if you need to kind of explore, go ahead and do that. One great way is to, if you have somebody near you, test out their markers first, so that way you can kind of get a feel. Because let me show you something. I think this is the Michaels brand, but I'm not sure. I think I've only seen, actually no, I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. So it's not the Michaels brand. It's just where I think I bought it. So this is the Prismacolor. This is a very soft nib. So you get that one. And then you get like a brush. I believe this is close to what a Copic is like, but I'm not sure. So let me give you a close look on that. Now, if you press down on it, it is hard. It's a very solid, but it's soft. I know that's probably really confusing. So it's kind of a feel that you have to have. Alright, so this is the Winsor & Newton. And there's this nib. And this is what I own. I only own one of the Prismacolors because after I started using them, I did not like them. So I only have one color. Here is the Winsor & Newton. This is a little softer than the Prismacolor. You've kind of got a more, it's a little less control. With the Prismacolor, you get, well, not the brush side. On the bullet side, you get a little bit more control because it is so hard. So if you're looking for something that isn't gonna really move much, go for the hard nibs, the bullet nibs. And the bullets are always going to be a little bit different. I found if they have the chisel, then they tend to be a little harder. Excuse me, sorry. Like this one has a chisel. So you've got to kind of decide what you want on your other end as well. Generally, you're not going to use them. I use the chisel for grass. That's about it. And also when I go to do backgrounds. It's good for filling in really fast. So the Winsor & Newtons, I got the student case, student designer case, and it comes like this. There's a nice pocket on the other side. And it comes, right now it's on Prime for $50. And there's 24 markers. Winsor & Newton are by far one of my favorite markers that I have. So I think it's because it's the middle ground. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. So if you have a a tendency to shake. Go for a harder nib, because I sometimes do shake, and that's why I think the middle ground is kind of better. Alright, so these are the art markers. These come from Hobby Lobby. They were $29.99 originally, but with Hobby Lobby you can use your coupon. This comes with the chisel. Ugh, they're so hard to pull out sometimes. And then this is, it's kind of close to the Prismacolor, but you'll kind of see when you press down, it does a little bit more bleeding. Not much, just because it is it's a little softer than the Prismacolor. So you'll have a little bit more, your brush will kind of move over the paper a little bit more. Hopefully this is all making sense. The art markers I don't use generally at all. Right now I use my Winsor & Newtons and my Conda markers. When I'm doing kind of more rough projects like coloring ribbon and things like that, I use my art markers so I don't ruin my Winsor & Newtons. And then I just got this set of Winsor & Newtons. These are the Pro markers, so that means they have the bullet nibs. The brush markers means it has a brush nib. So, and those were, it's a 13 marker set, and it was 24, 26, I don't know. Okay, so then Conda markers. These are another one that I own. Okay, so now it doesn't say, well, it says on the marker that it's a Conda marker, but on the case it doesn't. Now this is at Hobby Lobby for $49.99, but you can use your coupon. I don't know why it's not coming up. Come on. I got mine on sale because the orange marker wasn't working, so they put it on half price. So, I mean, that day I probably needed to get another thing for 40% off, and I was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and, you know. Okay, so with the Conda markers, you have your chisel again. Now this chisel is a little different. It's a kind of a thicker bottom. You know, it's kind of hard to show because just the nature of it. Now you see on the actual marker it says Conda. I have not seen them anywhere else, so I'm thinking it might just be a Hobby Lobby thing. My little paper ran away. Hello. Oh, it's right on top. Oh gosh. Okay. They're kind of like the Winsor & Newtons. They're a little softer, but they're still hard. So it's nice to kind of, it's a little bit easier to control. Now with the Conda markers, I do notice that it bleeds a little bit more into the paper than what the Winsor & Newton do. So you kind of have to watch when you're going on the fine lines, which I think a lot of people have issues with, is you have to watch the control of your marker. If you have an image, let's say here, okay, here's a marker line. I don't think this is actually alcohol safe, but which some people do digital painting or digital printing. So this is a very helpful tip. Now if you go around the line right on it, but not actually on it, it's kind of hard to do it up in the air. So just kind of give yourself a little bit of room there. It's gonna bleed enough. You see it kind of keeps going even when I pull my marker up. I don't know if that's Gonna be easy enough to see or what? It's kind of hard to demonstrate. Oops. Oh. There we go. See? It kind of fills in the gaps there. Because this blend of whatever they have in here, it just tends to sink into the paper a little bit more. So when you go over your lines, actually this might be an alcohol marker, alcohol safe marker. Well, normally if you do a pen or if you do your digital image, it's going to bleed and it's going to change the color of your marker a little bit. It's going to like darken it, especially if you do light colors. You're going to see it kind of smudge, kind of turn a little bit more brown and muddy. So that's why you kind of want to stay away. Uh-oh, this lid's off. That's not good. Hopefully it's not dried out. Sorry. Kind of. Ooh, it is dried out. Okay, so let's go ahead and. Oh, that's so bad. I hate doing that. I don't know why I didn't check before closing it. That's sad. That was like one of my favorite colors to use too. I think. 156. And I used it a little bit. Good thing I got my new markers. But anyways, that is kind of, I know this is kind of an awkward video because you're always going to have people saying they like a different brand better. And then there's always going to be people who are like diehard Copic fans or diehard Spectrum Noir fans, and sometimes they haven't even tested other markers. So it's kind of hard to, I know it's kind of odd for me to say this, but it's hard to take someone at face value with their markers because everyone is going to be using them differently. And it's also, as a card maker mostly, when it comes to alcohol markers, I'm only doing small images, so I don't use my markers that often. So it's not too bad if I go ahead and get the cheaper things or like the markers that don't have the additional inks that you can refill. I just tend to go with the flow. You know, it's kind of how I am. But if you are interested, I would definitely see if someone around you has a marker you can test. Maybe a friend has a Copic marker. Maybe you can kind of get a feel, color and image real fast. And maybe another friend has a Spectrum Noir. Otherwise, if you have a little bit of money to kind of spend and play with, I would go ahead and try to maybe test a few different. I know there's open stock markers, so maybe just get a few markers from each brand, and that way you can kind of tell. But these are my favorites. Well, the Winsor & Newton are my absolute favorites. Then my Condas. But it kind of depends as well. Because sometimes I like the Condas a little bit better. It kind of depends on my hands that day, how rushed I am. Because it takes a lot of patience to be able to use a marker. And it'll also come a little bit easier if you find the marker that fits you. That's why there's so many markers out there. So, try and test them. See what is good for you. I mean, you can take my opinion on the Winsor & Newton and hopefully you like them. which I think you will, because I think they're middle ground is what I think. But they might be completely off from what you need. I know it's not that informative, but someone someone has to say it, because people keep asking what markers are best. And you're always going to get a wide variety. So it's kind of difficult, guys, but in the long run, you need to find craft supplies that are going to fit you. So that's why, you know, sometimes reviews are good. Sometimes you gotta take them with a little grain of salt, because it's just how we are. Well, hopefully this video was a little helpful, kind of, you know, informative on markers, art markers, or alcohol markers. And I have plenty of coloring videos if you need to watch those. And also there's tons of videos on YouTube on them. So there's plenty to watch. But you know, it's always going to be different when you actually have the marker in hand. So always be aware that there definitely is a learning curve to actually having it in your hand. You can always research a lot, but it's still going to be feeling a little weird. And then finally you're going to feel like you finally decided what marker is going to work best for you. So if you do a lot of coloring and you need to have the cheaper in the long run, go Copic, because then you can have your refills. I haven't used Copics, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're a softer nib, but I'm not 100% sure. And you can always, I think there are nibs that you can buy, but it's up to you. How invested do you want to get into your markers? How much time do you want to spend, you know, sitting over an image, hunched over, trying to not get on that line, just so that you don't bleed over? And then, of course, use your gel pen. So, if you have, you know, time, patience, money, try and, you know, decide which marker is best for you, because that's the only way you're going to be happy with what you like. If you enjoy making it, you're going to like the end result. If there's an issue with it, like if you do not like your markers, you're not going to like the end product, because it took so much hard work to get there, and you're not going to like it. And we want to like our art stuff, right? Alright, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it was a tad bit of, you know, information. I know it's mainly my opinion and what I own, but this is what I've been working with for a year now. So I have a pretty good feel of what I like. Hopefully one of these may work for you. They're pretty cheap in the long run. Of course, you can't refill them. But if you're going to be playing, you know, get the small little set that a marker costs like $2 or less. And then if you don't like them, sell them. Because you know people are interested in them. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a crazy day. Not too crazy. Good crazy, not bad crazy. I will see you in the next video. Bye!